I'm too old for that.
Okay, we're ready.
Ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm about to table, I noticed the presence of a quorum, so I'd like to call a meeting to order. With that said, Dale, will you lead us in the invocation?
Let us pray. Father God, thank you for the opportunity to be here tonight to represent the town. Thank you for the blessings that you bestow upon us, and thank you for everything that you do for us. Please watch over us and lead, guide, and protect us in the decisions that we make tonight, that they may be for your glory. For it's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Dale. Don't stand for the pledge. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we have before us written or in electronic form the minutes from the previous meeting. I'd like to entertain a motion to accept or make changes as needed.
Make a motion we accept the minutes as presented.
Second.
Okay, is there any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of accepting the minutes as presented, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay. That brings us to the next item of the citizens' time. Are you interested in addressing council?
Mr. Mayor, this is Leslie Vanover. She's our new farmer's market.
Okay, nice to meet you. We put a face to a name now.
She's already done some really good things as far as getting us a Facebook page and getting us a logo for our farmer's market, which I think looks really, really good. And I think she has a few words she
Yeah, that's good. You can come to the podium now. Appreciate it.
All right, like I said, Leslie Vanover. I'm from Camp, Sugar Grove area. I've been there for 20 years. I'm also the manager at the Marion Farmers Market. I've been the manager there for 8 years. Actually, I was the first certified farmers market in Southwest Virginia. I do toot my horn over that because I worked hard for that. I've been a vendor at the River Retreat Market for, I'm going to say, the year before it started. And I just grew to love the area. I took my manager hat off and could be a vendor just like them. I've looked forward to the position of growing the market once I heard that, you know, the town was going to have one. I've seen so much potential, and I hope I can bring what I have already in my mind to you all. And with that being said, our plans are the 1st of June for the market to open. It would run, you know, from 3 to 6, rain or shine. My main focus for the market is going to be our homegrown produce, our products that are from this area, our beef, our pork, everything within this area. I always classify as that being the first priority in any farmer's market, because when you think of farmer's market, you think of our farmers. And not neglecting our artisans or crafters or any of that. I think that should be just the main focus. With that being said, I hope that soon that we can have a kids program, which I will work on that to make that to be a added benefit to the market. Like I said, that's going to be a working progress on that. But for the farmers market, I look into having the SNAP program for the low income. I will be applying for that, which in the next couple days. It does take a few weeks to get that within the realm of everything. That's something new that would be here and be at this farmers market. I do hope that at the market, we could eventually have, maybe not this year, but maybe eventually, this is gonna be a brand new year for us. We gotta see our rights and wrongs in it. But the future for it is having possibly a trunk or treat for the area. Having a Christmas social during the Christmas parade. The following year, possibly having something to do with Easter. There's so many things that can happen at the farmer's market that can be just more than a farmer's market. So, but our main focus, like I said, this year is growing our market, letting people know that we are a new market, and to pack it full on Wednesdays with some of the best people around. So I look forward to working with you all, sharing my ideas with y'all, and you all sharing your ideas with me. I'm sure that y'all might have questions for me. They've had questions for me, and I've threw them under the bus a couple times and telling them the rights and wrongs of things. You know, you don't know until you've went through it. And it'll be a new rodeo for River Tree. And I look forward to working with each one of y'all.
And Monica, you can send out her email address, correct?
Mhm.
Where if y'all have any questions, you'll have her email address. We have set her up a town email address.
I have a couple questions right now. You mentioned certified farmer's market. What does that entail?
I'm a certified farmers market manager,
Okay.
meaning that I have went through food safety courses. I've went through all the rounds of the rights and wrongs of the food system that can be sold at a farmer's market.
Okay, all right.
I'm that bad person that's gonna say, you need to pull that.
Yeah.
I'm the person that's gonna say, you know, let me see your labels on your meat, knowing that they are supposed to be sold.
Okay. You might encounter some backlash with that because there's things down there that are not labeled correctly.
That's what me and Derek are here for.
Yeah, so good luck on that.
Like I said, when I've been there.
Yeah.
And I hope to have a farmer's market meeting with the people that want to be vending. And they will get that line out on the food safety.
Thank you.
And I can tell you right now, I seen labels down there myself. And this is when I had my hat on. And I've called them out, the people down there, about what they were selling. For one, if they was to have an allergy in something such as peanuts or whatever, look what you're doing to that person that did not know that. I am huge on food safety. My products are labeled with every ingredient in it and with the allergies on it. That's just something that, you know, that they have to do it or not come.
You're right, I understand that. And it will be welcomed by this council, I think, because that thing's gonna be sponsored by the town of Rural Retreat,
Exactly.
which we incur some liability.
That brings up a good point, Bob.
Yeah.
What is our liability on that? I never asked you that question.
I honestly, it falls upon the vendor themselves. If it comes back to the town, as my understanding is it comes back to the town as something, as a food, it will fall on that vendor. Vendors are encouraged to, you know, they take that responsibility. That is in our application of them. They are responsible for their taxes, them as a realm.
And I don't think some of those things have been being done down there.
No.
Yeah. But you also mentioned SNAP.
Uh-huh.
Does each individual vendor have to agree to accept SNAP?
They don't. SNAP would be done through a machine, like an individual would run their SNAP card at the food country. to pay for their items that they bought, okay? What had happened would, say the shopper went through the market and was like, added up what they wanted. They came to me and said they wanted to do $20 on their card. I would run their card and I would give them in return a token of 20 or so, or whatever they had bought. That is $20, okay? They would go to their vendor and they would pay in those tokens. Then after that is over with, they would bring me the tokens.
The vendor.
Yes, and then they would be reimbursed.
Okay, so you're gonna have to have funds there.
No, what had happened would be, we would end up getting, once the money was put into the account, the town account, it would show up as it being in the account the following day, as I ran a card.
Okay, so the town's gonna have some bookkeeping here involved, right?
It would be the 1 week of saying that we sold that many tokens. And I would distribute the money the following week to the vendors.
But have you been doing that through your account?
Whoever's account. Say if you all was to get the money through, say it was $100 or whatever, then the check would be wrote to me, or we can do it the hard way and we do each vendor. But I find that if we do, I would have an account of each vendor in the amount of monies that they have. It is a complete spreadsheet. I sold $20. John Doe sold $50. However, it would be tallied up. It would be in the following day, just run their, in the bank account of that total amount.
So the town's gonna have to have a bank account for the SNAP fund?
No, not a bank account, no,
No?
no. It would just be directly deposited into the town's account.
Okay.
So the,
Set up through,
Yes,
set up through SNAP, not through the bank.
right,
Okay, all right.
right.
You-
So the SNAP, when she applies for the SNAP program, we will give them our ACH information so
Right.
that the money will flow in, just like a lot of other things that we do. That money will flow into the town's account, and then I will have to distribute it out of the town's bank account to either Leslie or to individual vendors, however we decide to do it. I'll just write her a check, and then she can distribute the money, or they can, or I can
So-
write each one a check,
So
however.
that is putting some bookkeeping on you?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
But I don't think it's gonna be a huge effort, do you? It's literally gonna be taking the money that was swept into the account and writing a check for that exact amount of money.
I mean, if y'all don't agree to the SNAP, I won't go forward with it.
No, I think it's a
just
great
don't know how
idea.
it works. I just, I agree with it. There's a need for it. I just want to know how it works.
But I don't think it's gonna be a lot of bookkeeping. I mean, it's literally gonna be, I'm gonna be writing a check. It's gonna be week to week. It's gonna be money coming in, I write that exact amount
She's gonna have a
out.
paper trail of everything that I do.
And you're gonna have, you're the one that's gonna have to keep up with it.
My machine will run out with receipts every transaction that I make on it. Every single transaction. And every one of them transactions, I write down the money amount, not the personal information, but the money amount. And that there's going to be times that somebody's going to only spend $12 and they say they might use the rest of the money. But we're going to have record of that. I will have that all down, that those $2 weren't used.
Okay.
But those $2 are still in the bank.
So can they use tokens, can they come and have you swipe their card and get the tokens and use them different weeks?
Yes.
So maybe at the first of the market, somebody might ask you for $50 off of their EBT card. You swipe it, give them $50 in tokens, and then for the rest of the market, they can come and use their $50.
Right.
And we can keep
And
track
it
of
has to
that.
be solid amount. Like if they buy produce and it comes up to change, it only will amount to that dollar amount. They don't get change back. So it's either they got to add the change, or they lose that part, or that vendor works with them.
Take another item to make it come up to the change.
Right. 9 times out of 10, a vendor will be gladly to accept that token, because that's money to them. They're not losing nothing. If they're willing to wait for that dollar, they're also gaining a customer as well. So, I mean, that's totally up to them if they don't want to do that. But what I've dealt with, nobody's turned it down.
And you're doing this at the Marion Market, and it's working. It works. That's how you do it there with Town Marion.
Right.
We're not reinventing anything.
Right.
No,
I have one more question.
yeah.
What do you think of our restroom situation down there?
Well, I'll say this. I don't know, nobody likes to use porta-john, but you gotta do what you gotta do. We started the market out by using a porta-john. We're starting this market out by using a porta-john. That's about all.
It's been discussed here that the bathrooms be put up in that building that's down there, the brick building on the corner. What do you think about that?
Of course.
You don't think the distance is too much?
No,
Okay.
I don't find that the distance, no, I do not.
What would you like to see down there in restrooms?
Oh, okay. You're just about to get me there. All right, for restrooms, yes, I would like to have the extra separate bathrooms. I'm fine with the walk to the other bathrooms. And if I have to use porta-johns, we'll use porta-johns.
Okay, I asked this question because the subject was a topic at our last meeting, and I just wanted what you would rather have.
Would I like to have the building over the porta-johns? Of course I would.
Okay, okay.
Another thing, Bob, and she was explaining this to us today. Would you please talk about the food truck?
All right, you need to have a bathroom facility for running water in order to have food trucks. That we wouldn't be able to have a food truck on the property if we didn't have that at the market. So that would be just another downfall on it all. Just like, I was telling them, I am a certified licensed suit safe person. So I personally wouldn't allow a food truck down there without some sort of running water facility.
Even if the running water's in a restroom?
I would
So is it
consider
for
that
hand
within-
washing?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
As far as the sewer line in the building, Mike?
It's in the building.
No, I meant
For the other building, if you want to build one,
the farmer's market building, could you have a too far away?
can't go across the culvert pipe.
No, of course not, I'm sorry, that's good, never mind,
It has to be on
yeah,
the south side of the culvert pipe.
yeah, and over on the Baumgartner side.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, that means something else. We won't get into that.
You've been very informative.
Thank you.
Hey, I want to interrupt just to say a second. You mentioned Kane. You
Yeah.
do know that she was born and raised there.
No.
But I lived over there and stayed, visited camp all the time. We know more about where you're from than you might know.
I don't live directly in camp. I live the road before you get into camp on Dark Hollow Road.
Yeah.
I live up on top.
Oh, yeah.
I live up on top of a mountain, and you go down my road, you don't know I live down that road.
Yeah.
You only know I live on that road when you go down into camp and look up on top of the mountain.
Did I just, just out of curiosity,
Yeah, yeah,
we know where you're from. That's got nothing to do with anything.
yeah.
Well, I'd just like to say, welcome to the team.
Thank you, and I hope to see.
We're here for you. Jason and Monica are here for you. Mike's even here for you, even there, whatever.
And I hope to see you down at the farmers like I have all the other years.
I'll be there, so, but anyway, welcome, and I know you're both doing a good job, so.
Thank you.
Thanks.
She's already been told she can stay for the show or she can leave.
Yeah, you got part of the room.
If I was you, I'd go.
Thank you. Okay. Mike, we always, here,
She's gonna be really good.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, he worked hard. Okay. It takes correspondence. We have correspondence from the town office. We have correspondence from council. Okay, next is to the police report.
Mayor had 16 incidents in February, had 3 vehicle accidents. One of them was a reportable accident. The other one was a deer wreck, and the other one happened on private property. 3 domestics, one of them was in town, and 2 of them I assisted the county with. Stolen vehicle, it was unfound. I had 1 gas drive off, which I took that was a reportable. 1 welfare check, had 1,032 miles patrolled. We had a pursuit in town last night. It was very Dukes of Hazardous there for a while, but nobody was hurt.
And we're in the town manager's yard.
Y'all
They have a vice mayor
Manager's yard.
and the treasurer.
You know,
So, but,
I missed all that. I'm sure glad I live in the boondocks.
They could have very easily been in.
yeah, I figured that's where it was going your way, but it didn't.
Now, there's one little gap. If you don't know where it is, you can't.
Trust me, this cat was finding every gap he could find.
He can run through the fence to get at,
Also, I talked to a guy about the sign over here. He said his lease is up in March and he'll be gone. And that's all I have.
End of March?
Yep.
I got a question about the gas turn off. Can we not? I know it says you took a report. Can we not use our cameras to?
Interstate is at the gas station.
Oh, okay.
I actually had the gas drive off this evening. I didn't put it in here, and I used the camera to. Luckily, it was just a misunderstanding, but I used the flock camera and.
Yeah.
It
Good
was.
to hear.
Yeah, that's good.
That's all the question.
Yeah, and if the fool was Mo, he said, I'm sorry, Mo, I'll pay for it. I'll be apt to be slip up like that. Okay. Anybody else that have any questions for the chief? Like you said, what is it that it go from, it's 99% sheer boredom and 1% terror, so.
Yeah, it was a wild ride.
My wife had to sleep with my daughter. She was scared to death.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes,
I know I was supposed to have brought up.
you can do this, it's fine right now.
Okay. I have it's on, and I know it's not Sherwood Avenue, it's coming down the hill. What's that name of that street?
Church.
No.
Richfield,
Sherwood.
Richfield,
Richfield.
Okay, I've had a, resident that wants a light put there because they said it's dark there. Do you have any?
I've been through this issue before. AEP wants to, is it Miss Rich? I can go back and redo that process. Michael James went through it and I went through it. They will put one there, but she's gonna have to pay for the placement of the light. And it's
How much are you talking about?
like $3,000 or so. And I'll be glad to do it. I'll be glad, but they've had so much turnover and so many layoffs that I doubt there's any of, because she came directly to me.
Okay.
So I know exactly what you're talking about. And from Halloween standpoint, and when I'm really out there, it's very, very dark.
It is dark.
But I will go back and try again, see what I can find out.
There's nothing above ground there, is there? It's all the utilities underground, right?
There's a pole not far from her.
Yeah.
Just, it would be north of her. But she would still have to pay for the light and maybe for the monthly usage. Because I've gotten into that with her before. But I can go back and try again, see what they've got going on.
Okay, got one more complaint, and that's on Westfield, a house up through there, so if you would ask them to, or somebody needs to ask them to clean it up.
I already have,
Have him,
already been done.
okay.
What about the? They won't name, we've got 30 days.
It's next Tuesday, but the judge was a substitute judge, and he wants to hear, so I don't know when it would be. I mean, if she's not in compliance by next Tuesday, I don't know when it'll be, whenever he's back up here, and I don't have a clue.
He said he would schedule a date to be there.
I mean, I don't think it's gonna be miraculously cleaned up by next Tuesday, but yeah, that judge wants to see her if she wasn't in compliance, and then when he's back again, I don't know.
But do we need to tell her that she's on compliance Tuesday?
She's gonna be back in court too, she's gotta be there. And I'll be there, yeah, I'm gonna be there.
Regardless of who the judge is, she's got to be there.
Yes, and then if I tell that judge that she wasn't, he left instructions that he wants to see her, but when he's back here, I don't know, he didn't know either.
What time is it? 8:30
It'll
again?
be 8:30.
Speaking of APCO real quick, do we ever fund anybody from APCO to change our light bulbs? We're gonna have to do something. We might just have to bug up and do it ourselves.
We can't.
We don't have any way to do it.
We're not allowed, number
I
one.
guess we're not allowed to.
I'm not gonna send, liability wise, I'm not sending
Yeah.
anybody in a bucket truck up there to,
Yeah. I mean, because we've got several now.
I mean, and it's not just here. I've gotten calls and complaints. And if we wanna put it out there, I don't know if you've seen the news, but I had an individual call with Smith County area about the way that they've been handling power outages and lights being out and stuff. And then they're charging the exorbitant amount of fees that they're charging. They wanted to have a community get together just to discuss and get some of our delegates together, which may be something,
AEP did?
no.
No, it's the public.
This was somebody from the public that used to work for TVA and had a lot of knowledge about how they function and said we are really getting a bad deal with the service and the price we pay in this area.
Don't mind stirring, Lord have mercy, that's fun. Let's get a racket.
Is there a plan to, if they ever do start fixing lights, is there a plan to replace the ones that are out with LEDs?
Generally, they replace them with LEDs now. I've had one replaced with an LED, and the citizen asked that it be replaced with an amber after that because it was
Really?
too light.
Too bright, huh?
Yeah, too bright.
Really, well, they're very efficient.
Yeah, they are.
I know that in front of Mr. Irvin's house on Sherwood, it is an LED, and it puts out very good light, and it's straight down. It really doesn't branch out into anything. They're going to LEDs. The one up at Food Country is currently LED now too. So,
That'd be good.
but that would be once they start replacing them again. I expect the majority of those will be LED replacements.
That'd be good because they wouldn't have to replace them every time.
No,
So that'd be a good thing for
they
everybody.
use a lot less electricity, really. Okay. If that's it, anybody else have any questions for the chief? Alma, there's no schedule, you don't worry about that. In other words, I'll just put in for a good word, that's fine. You're doing your job, we appreciate it. So that's good. Okay. With nothing else, more questions for Derek, we'll go to unfinished business. We'll do like we always do, go down the list. You want to talk about it, fine, you won't do so. The downtown revitalization.
Downtown revitalization, I don't have it on my town manager's report, but you'll see in the payables, our materials are in for them to do the fence. So that they're gonna be, in the payables, you'll see the deposit. It's for half of the cost. I think it was $16,000 some odd dollars. They're gonna call in the Miss Utility tomorrow. They asked Mike, and Mike has agreed to go down there and kind of flag off where the fence is gonna go so that the utility services can come in and mark what they have. Most of that's clear except for the Baumgartner side, isn't it, Mike?
Should be out there.
Okay. So they've got us on schedule, ready to go. They're turning in the Miss Utilities, so it should be within the next 2 weeks. They're down there putting in the fence. So.
I usually just notice and look up there where the section house was, looks to me like it, is it all out on the railroad?
Everything that's there is on the railroad.
It is on the railroad. Boy, they pushing it right up to the, can they work around that? Is it,
Oh,
you know, the ties,
I hope they can, because you know what the
rail?
railroad's gonna
I mean,
say.
there's a whole lot of stuff laying up there.
I have a question about the fence.
Okay.
What are those things, Mike, those concrete things that are out there? Are they manholes, culverts, what? They're in that lot?
on the south side of the culvert pipe, or there where the culvert pipe is on,
Yeah.
The drop in.
those are drop inlets.
Are those gonna be fenced?
We don't have it on this schedule, but I mean, I could see where
Yeah, it looks to me like that could be a problem
it wouldn't be an
with
issue.
people driving in there. Because they're at ground level and,
We can take the bottom of the car out.
yeah. Or crack one of them or something. I think there should be some sort of fence around it.
I would say that when the parking lot goes in, it needs to be a curb go around it instead of a fence. It'll have to be a little, one section left for the water to run into it, because there is a drain there.
I think we need to do before the parking lot, or before the farmer's market, at least tape it off or something,
Yeah, we could go in and.
so that people are aware that it's there, because you're gonna have people driving in there. I
We've
know.
got barrels, so we can set barrels there.
Yeah.
The answer might be posts, like 4 posts
Yeah,
to surround
we
it.
could do something,
I think they
you
need
know,
to
till
protect it.
the parking lot gets put in and the drainage gets done and all that.
That's all I've got on downtown.
Okay. That takes us to Dave Larry. You got any word?
I am finalizing negotiations on the opening act. Going back and forth with them.
Is it money or is it time?
It's irrelevant issues on things like amounts of rooms and stuff like that, so. But we'll get it worked out.
We have limited, this is
What's going on is they don't understand how far
off the beaten path.
off the beaten path we are. They're used to
Big
being,
venues.
you know, right next door to a hotel, so it's.
They don't want that with them.
They don't have a problem with it, they just don't understand that, you know, we've got a plan for the driver to get you there and get back and this and that, and how many of you actually need a room, so it's just getting that straightened out, but every time we play phone tag.
They're not wanting liquor, are they, or anything like
No,
that?
they ask for all sodas,
Okay.
all sodas.
Well, I didn't know.
Charlie Denton's band used to ask for a egg of Granny Smith apples. I don't know how they could eat them.
We had one that wanted several quarts of Jack Daniels.
Well, yeah.
Maker's Mark.
Yeah, is that what they
You
wanted?
want it-
They wanted that good wheated stuff.
Yeah, and then they threw all the silverware and everything away the next morning.
We'll get some winners. Okay.
I wasn't aware, like, on the opening act, I didn't know if we had budgeted so much for them, is that
For the main act or the
Yes.
opening act?
the main,
Well, there's so much budgeted, so I work within the budget
okay,
to find somebody, but we're well within the budget.
okay,
With all of our, we've got all of the acts covered,
uh-huh, okay.
except for this act, and when we get this act covered, we'll still be within the budget.
a good question. Okay, anybody else have any questions? Okay, takes us to upgrades to the water plant.
Okay, I have quite a few things on this, as far as, and Mike can probably explain it better than me, so once I kind of report on it, I'll ask him, to explain what's going on. But the town is experiencing some issues with the valve at the water plant. Town employees have, as of today, have tried to change 3 different valves to try and fix the situation, but have not succeeded. The problem is that the plant is constantly running unnecessary water into the backwash tank, and the water is not making its way into the circulation. So how much, Mark, do you have any idea how much we're circulating through that in a day?
Not a day, but it's, Love Gear says somewhere around between 220 and 300,000 a month.
And that's not
So that
being,
comes up to what, 10,000, roughly 8 to 10,000 gallons a day.
Is this chlorinated water?
it's treated, it's filtered, but it's not treated.
Correct.
Okay, now, see, you probably won't get in trouble with DEQ because if it's chlorinated, they may have something to say.
The plant's set on 252 pump, but it's actually not pumping, but like 244. Because the filters are dirty, so it can't push that water through, so it's pushing it out and going to the creek.
Now, he said dirty. Our water is still meeting
Yeah, but
the parameters with no
It's
problem.
more pressure.
But it's harder for us to
It's-
produce as much because the filters have gotten,
Yeah, the filters need to be clean, and it's not pushing it all the way through, so it's, and we don't know which valve it is. Don't know, put in a new valve, the valve's working great, so it could be the actuator, but you can't tell in the actuator whether it's
You can't
more or
see
not.
it. You
No,
can't see the water. Don't know.
we have a call in with, Tom Stanton. He's the guy, that works with actuators out of Richmond. And he had some talks with Low Gear. He actually has an actuator and valve kind of expert. That's what he does for a living. And he's working us up a quote to see what it would cost for him to come down here and help us out. I think that's the way to go. One of the problems is, and Mike, if you want to speak on it as well, is the actuators that we have now in our water plant, when they come, they're not ported the same as what we actually have now. But he says that he can take our 1/2 inch line and take it down to 3/4 inch,
3/8.
3/8. You still got the same amount of pressure, air pressure, but you don't have as much volume. But he said that there's water plants in the state of Virginia that are working that way. The problem is our actuators are not working correctly, but we don't know which one. And Low Gear was supposed to get with the guy from MEMCOR, the English guy, what's his name, Mike? Charles?
I don't remember.
Charles, and he was gonna kind of go through our system and see which valve he thinks it is that's causing our problems. So we've got, working with MEMCOR and then a different actuator company to try to come up with a solution to the problem. I know you got a question.
If the filters are dirty, why aren't they being cleaned?
I wouldn't say dirty, they just have buildup in it. Well, I guess you would, because we have to have enough water. We have to catch up because of some issues that we've had during the snowstorms and stuff. We need to catch up because it takes us all day
With water
to
on
do
hand.
with water on hand.
Okay.
It takes us all day long to do this cleaning, so we're gonna be
This is
down.
chemical treatment.
Okay.
And the tank that this is running into, the chemicals can't run into it, so this water has to be stopped going to the creek before you can ever do it.
Okay.
It has to be blocked off totally before you do it clean.
Because it's a very acidic solution that goes through the filters to clean it.
Is there a plan to do this?
Yeah, Jason was just talking about that. They have got people notified to come in to see which actuator or valve, and it could be multiple.
That would allow you to do, shut down for the cleaning?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay? Any other questions?
I'm kind of on the same line. The town met with the Lang Group regarding preliminary engineering work needed for the development of Staley Spring. They'll be getting the town an updated cost estimate on the PER, which that's preliminary engineering report that was done in 2009. Did talk to them as well about some DHCD grant applications, and they advised us that we would not be eligible for those grant fundings because of our median household income is too high compared to other localities around us. But they said that there is possibly other grant opportunities through other agencies that we can look into.
What does DHCD stand for?
Department of Housing and Community Development.
Say it again.
Department of Housing and Community Development.
One word bureaucrats.
It's actually that's who we got our grant through for the block grant down here to make the downtown site.
Okay.
Dealing with it was a nightmare.
It's not fun.
A total and complete nightmare.
And this kind of has to do with the water plant and the sewer plant, so I'll go ahead and go through the sewer plant as of now, or go through it now if you don't mind. As of the last reading at the water plant, at the wastewater plant, and this is concerning the amount of gallons of water we use at the wastewater plant. The reading, which was a radio reading, so it should be 100% legit. The town used 24 gallons of treated water compared to an average of 800,000 gallons we were using per month before we built the well. This is due to the town switching from, we were using treated water as a means to wash down froth control and stuff like that on the site. This will lead to less production in the future, and we would be able to recover from leaks faster. So obviously in the past, we were using water from our water plant and our water tanks to wash down and control the froth in the digesters and the other stuff down there. Since we did go ahead and get the well dug, we've been using groundwater down there instead of water that we treat. So the average over the past year or so, we've been over 1.2 million gallons a month down there. We were at 24,000 gallons last month.
Doesn't mean we're using less water, it means we're using less potable water.
It will not affect the accountability because we know where the water is.
Yeah, we took that out already.
Yes.
But anyway, regardless, it sounds like the well is doing what it's supposed to do, so that's good.
You just have to pay for electricity to get that water.
And also that, I guess I didn't think about that, but that is a good point about recovering from a leak or whatever, if our tanks are down. We got that much more production, so that's great. Good deal.
One other thing on the water is the town has advertised the Kinder Valley Loop project online using the site that we had talked about in the past. Started last weekend, and I'm waiting on the Lang Group to decide when we're going to go ahead and do the bid openings for that project.
Had any bites on anybody, little bitty, anybody?
We won't know. We won't know until the bid date.
Oh,
They
okay.
have to come in here and open sealed bids, so
I see, you see.
I won't have any idea until the bid date.
All right. Is there any other questions? Either water or the wastewater plant? For together. Okay. What about the sidewalk project?
Spoke to
Main Street sidewalk.
the mile sidewalk. And I was hoping Jim would be here. He said, weather willing, he'd like to start the week of March 10th. So, a couple weeks.
Okay. Any other questions about that? And property clutter. We've sort of covered that.
So, I'll get with Derek, and we may have to write a letter to the individual that is on Westfield.
Well, that's the way it started before, you know, that's, if we could become any kind of success at all, we're gonna have to continue.
I believe the property she's talking about is a rental property. So that would go to the owner of the property.
Right.
You're talking about if you're coming out the second lot on the left, if you're coming toward Fry Avenue,
Yes.
off of Richfield, be the second lot on the left. Okay.
That's good, it's working. Okay, is there any other unfinished business? All right,
I don't know if this is, Mr. Mayor, I don't know if this is unfinished business. I think it goes in there. I have a question about going back to the farmer's market lot. Wasn't there some sort of a court action taken on that guy that never did?
J.G. Corn, I actually reached out to them, and Brad Steller is supposed to have written me a response as to what he got from them. I'm not sure what that was. But it's J.G. Corn over the topsoil that they did not distribute on the lot.
So is there a court action?
It's out there right now. I don't think a court date has been set.
Okay,
But it is in the hands of our attorneys.
okay, okay.
okay. All right, if that settles on unfinished business, we can revisit anytime. But in the interest of moving along, is there any new business?
No, sir.
Go ahead, you.
I have some old business, I think. At last meeting, we talked about cost estimates for bathrooms. Are we working on cost estimates?
We are. We should have them in the next week.
Okay, so we can have them by next meeting, maybe?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That's all right. I said we'd revisit it anytime.
And one other thing, Mayor.
Yeah.
The Capital Improvements Committee, does that include fixing things that we have that need repair?
Well, that's an improvement. I agree.
Okay. Has anybody looked at the condition of this building? It is deteriorating, the bricks are deteriorating in the front out here on the pillars that come down. Water
Is it freezing?
No, I don't know what caused it. There is brick gone at the bottom, if you look at it. Also, we have two places on the drive-through back here where somebody has hit the building, and I'm sure water is getting in both of them. If we don't do something about those, we're gonna have a problem with the drive-through out there.
We've got this corner over here, there's a bad leak around that door right there. That door's rotten out too, we've
I've-
noticed, just to add to that.
I've
Sorry.
looked at the windows on the front of this building, and it looks like they all need some glass work by a glazier. Those bottoms of those windows, the seals, look like they are dried out. And I understand that there has been leakage in other places in the building from those windows. I think we need to look after the maintenance of this building.
Bob, how old is this building? Do you have, in your tenure?
It was given to the town in
Yeah, but it is.
Yeah,
95, 30 years.
Yeah, but it was built.
about a year after that. I don't know when this building was built, but this was started a year after it was given.
Yeah, this part.
Yes.
So it's the newest part of the building.
I think that all of the front windows need some attention.
I said about
By a
1970.
glazer. Pardon me?
About 1970, I believe, because that's when the Bank of Speedwell
Yeah, somewhere along in
come
there,
in
yeah.
here. It was the original building.
Yeah.
And Monica, that needs to be shouldn't show up in the unfinished business.
So put capital improvements, okay, built town hall repairs.
All right, how are you gonna do it so we can read?
Okay.
I mean, I'll throw it in there, I know Mr. Mayor said, but to me, my interpretation, and of course it's up to the mayor, but capital improvements doesn't have anything to do with regular maintenance.
Okay.
This is just wear and tear maintenance. I would make the argument that capital improvements is the downtown,
The new water plant.
Okay.
stuff like that. That's just my opinion, but that's just, again,
It's a moot point.
it doesn't matter, I'm just saying.
We'd like for this to should keep, if we forget things, if we don't have Monica put them,
Oh, yeah. I'm definitely not arguing that.
I mean, that can just come from a town council member. I mean,
Right.
it doesn't have to be from a
It
committee.
doesn't have to be.
Well, it's coming from me as a council member then.
It's new business.
We need to look after this building.
that's a good point.
Yep.
We need to, and Monica's gonna fix it so that it shows up. It becomes, each time when we meet, we have to have updates about it. It gives the town manager guidance, you know, what
I
the
think-
council wants done.
I know that the town manager has a lot to do, and I know that Mike has a lot to do, but I think this should be given to Mike to look about and bring it back to us, or bring it to the town manager, maybe both of them.
Yeah, he can decide.
We can work on it together.
But I think Mike needs to be involved in it.
Absolutely. No, he can't make the expenditure, but he can bring it to
Yeah.
Jason's attention there, so we'll, that'll show back up. All right? Now, we'll go one more. We'll slip on to new business. Anybody, that's basically new business, Bob.
Yes, I guess it was.
Yeah.
But I have some old business. The gentleman who was here some time ago and inquired about the Eder property
Mm-hmm.
came to my house yesterday.
Came back to my,
Did he come back up here?
he came here, yes.
Okay, because I told him he needed to come up here and
He came
not be
here.
on my front porch.
Yes.
Okay.
And I hope you made him happy.
No.
Doubt I did, but
No, I'm sure not.
I think he's come to a conclusion that there's no.
It's not the town's responsibility.
Yes, sir.
I emphasized that with him. But, you know,
It's not to say he's wrong, but I'm afraid that it's beyond our control. That, we just better kiss that goodbye. May not hear the end of it, but it's gonna fall down.
I don't want to hear it on my front porch.
I'm with you. Had it in my porch too, but anyway, not recently.
That's all I have there.
No, it's all right.
I'll
That's
shut
why
up.
you're here. Okay.
Yeah, you do that, and I'll do
We'll
this.
get to. That takes us to committee reports.
Finance and appropriations, Monica has some things she wants to go over, but I did want to let everybody know that we did have a online meeting with Davenport and Company. And I think Monica will agree, it was one of the better presentations that I've ever been a part of as far as the individual breaking things down, showing us things in a matter that's not speaking over everybody's head in lawyer talk. And at some point in the very near future, he's going to be speaking with all of you about the financial stability of the town. There's so much of it that I can't even begin to explain it like he did, but I will tell you, we're getting ready to have a meeting with him. He says that the town's financial situation is in really, really good condition right now. And he's gonna make some recommendations. He still had some questions that we had to answer and give him some information, some recommendations on some of the things, that we will kind of are looking forward, going forward in the future, as far as the downtown project, Staley Spring Water Plant project, and kind of what we have in investment, what we have in debt, how it compares to other localities around, and what they feel comfortable with us doing as far as long-term rate, long-term debt, versus, using some of our reserves to do this and that. They seem to have a pretty good plan of what they wanted to do and recommend to the town. I think you guys are really going to be excited about the way that they present the information, because we are in a pretty good situation. And I know I've said this before, but thanks to Raymond Matney and somewhat to Michael James, because I've heard stories of the past, Bob, and you probably know how trying to buy a backhoe would almost break the town. We went from that to Raymond and other administrations doing things that really put us in a situation that we're in today. Because, after they retired, they don't get talked about like they should, and he actually did a really, really good job of getting this town in the financial stability that we are today. So, but we have tried, Monica and I have tried to do as he did. We've bothered him with questions through the first few budget phases, but what I'm getting at is you're going to get a good report from Davenport and Company about some decisions that are going to be made very soon regarding some expenditures long-term for the town.
Okay, so somebody asked me at the last meeting about set-off debt and how much money we had received through set-off debt, so I did a little research on that. And in 2022, we received $9,404 just from set-off debt payments. 23, that amount was $10,576, and 24, it was $5,363. So you can kind of see how it varies, but it's just if we get a hit, we go as soon as we can go on and put in for it, we do. And then April's a really big one, so as people are doing their taxes, we start getting their tax money, and then it dwindles away after. Then in October, it picks back up, because those are the people that did extensions on their tax returns. But so that, that's a good chunk of money that we receive off debt every year, I feel like. That's all.
Okay, anybody have questions? All right, under personnel ordinances.
Couple things, Mr. Mayor. I left a copy there for everybody. I think I got everybody. The town did receive the opinion from Wythe County Judge Josiah Showalter Jr. regarding the litigation regarding the Board of Zoning Appeals decision and the complaint from Mr. and Ms. Beamer on West Baumgartner Avenue. Pretty clear how he feels about the situation. It's short, it's concise, but they do have the right to appeal, although our legal counsel doesn't think that will happen, but that is an opportunity that they have.
Sure, good money after bad.
And the last thing, and I looked into it, I'm sure you read what in my report, Bob. I spoke with VML regarding the policy about physicals for employees. They say that most places they do have physicals, but only for safety personnel, which would be fire department, police officers. I kind of got, the answer I got was kind of blurry in my opinion. They said that you could do a fit for duty physical, which if something happened to an employee that we decided we need to have them have a physical because of some health concerns that they may have had a heart attack or a stroke or something, that we could do that. But they acted like that was even kind of hairy to do. And they basically, from what I gathered through their foggy recommendation to me was, it's not something that we would want to do as far as having physicals for regular employees like water, wastewater, and maintenance. I can certainly ask Mr. Sobey about it, but the VML,
That's right.
It's
It's supposed,
supposed to be green.
no, that was my problem. It's supposed to be.
Oh,
Thank you.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
You're
I
fine.
just,
but
we need Doc Martin back.
Yeah.
That's an old joke, and you're old enough to be. Yeah.
he gave the best physicals.
Two bottles will make you feel good.
Yeah. Okay.
And then, I don't have anything on my report, but as you can see in front of you, our water accountability is not what we want it to be.
This one is for our new council people. The state requires that we have a 30% or less water accountability. And I'm surprised we haven't gotten a letter about that. You know, it comes, whenever you throw a knife in the water away somewhere, like I said, anybody that finds a leak, we don't want to know about it. We'll fix them if you can find them.
Well, I know it's been brought up, over the years, but I hope everybody understands and believes that if me and Mike Jones and Low Gear and all the guys, if we knew where this water was going, we would be there first. We would probably be there tonight to fix
Start
it.
tonight. Oh,
And like I said, I hope everybody understands that if we knew where this problem was,
it's costing the town a lot of money, is the truth be told.
so if, like I said, if anybody sees
Not taking
something,
it lightly.
Right.
Okay. That's called beating a dead horse. You pretty well have covered your town manager's report.
yes, sir.
And then that takes us to Monica's report. When you get where you're ready.
Okay, it's small. We wrote these checks. Alpha and Omega Repair Service, $771.65. Atmos Energy, $1,363.98. Blue Ridge Analytical, $2,316. BMS Direct, $500. Bright Speed, $73.18. Hurt and Profit, $600. Casey Automotive, $333. Lane Financial Group, $234.97. Richard Lloyd, $190.84. Parkway Gas, $3,119.14. Principal Financial Group, $211.80. R&R Enterprises, $174.48. USA Blue Book, $892.86. Diana Van Antwerp, $4.02. Virginia Fence Builders Incorporated, $16,900. And with Bland Chamber of Commerce, $835. And that's $28,520.92 total. Any questions about any of that?
Okay, we'll assign these. Let me know if you have anything else. Al? I'm going. Single you out just for a second. Please don't think that we're singling you out for any reason other than I want to make sure that you understand or whatever. You are not being done any other way than just keep. So if it sounds like, well, why are you picking on me? No.
I want to learn, you know.
Well, you're a quick study, don't misunderstand. That's not what, but I just, sometimes I've been accused of appearing to sing with somebody, and it's not a personal thing, except I want you, anything that we do that you understand, and give you the chance to know that you can ask questions. And that they're welcome to whatever. And Bob, just keep on. You're doing good.
I sit up at night trying to think of things.
Well, that's all right. You know, if we get to where we can't take it, then I guess we'll do whatever. But anyway, it's,
I move we adjourn.
that's a good one. All right, thank you.
Shut it off, I gotta ask a question.